What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review. Today, from Star Wars The Black Series, we're taking a look at Pirate Captain Brutus, Port Borgo. This is from the upcoming Skeleton Crew TV series, a show I know really nothing about. The trailers really haven't done much for me. However, when I see a character that's essentially a space pirate werewolf man, this is just about as Star Wars as it gets, in my opinion. And something like this for me is going to go in my Cantina display, and he's just going to kind of be a random glup. Let's take a look at the box. This is in a nice yellow. How original. He's the 6th figure in the Skeleton Crew line. Here he is on the mural art, looking badass. Like most new media figures, Brutus just has a generic bio. There's a better look at that artwork there. And they still have the 6 on the back of the box too, but now on the new boxes, it's also on the front. Yippee! And here's the barcode at the bottom. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this figure open. We'll take a look at his accessories and then the figure itself. So as you saw in the package, Brutus comes with 5 painted blasters. Granted, some of them are pretty small, but how often, if ever, have we got 5 blasters with one figure? And they all actually have paint on them, and they are all new sculpts. I mean, in typical new media fashion, they always go all out for these figures, and Brutus is no exception. So here's one of the blasters, which has some nice gold and brown paint on it, and even has like a little bit of like a extra sculpted bit on the one side here. We have this longer blaster as well, which has some silver and brown paint, a little bit more of a basic design on this one. We got a really tiny blaster here, which has more brown and gold paint on it. Then we have a slightly larger, more normal sized blaster here, which has gold and silver paint on it. Love all these blaster designs. They look new but familiar. And the final pistol here is 100% like a space pirate flintlock pistol, and it looks awesome. I really like this design. It's really fun, unique, kind of interesting and new for Star Wars, digging like this far back into what the weaponry is based on, but it's pretty neat. I definitely would prefer something like this over kind of, unfortunately, what we see in Andor, where they have like more modern styled weapons and it kind of looks a little weird. But this, I feel like, is far enough removed that, you know, we can have some fun here. All right, so spoilers, here's Brutus, but one of the coolest parts about him is that we get weapon storage for every single one of these blasters. And I do believe it's actually specific. So this long one fits pretty well into here, and then the large flintlock blaster fits in the holster down here. I tried to do some mix and match, and you can, but I think the holes are definitely specific. So you get your tiny blaster right up here, and then the medium blaster in the middle, and this guy right here. And check that out. That is just so freaking awesome to have weapon storage for all of the blasters, and he just looks so incredible. So let's throw him on the rotating base here for a minute. And here is Brutus in all of his Wolfman glory. I don't think we know exactly what specific race this character is, so could he be more like Lax Sivrak? Could he be more like Arleal Shus? Or perhaps a new Wolfman species that also conveniently exists in Star Wars, like Neil, who also just happens to just be a random convenient blue elephant that's not the same race as Max Rebo for some reason. I don't know anymore. Anyways, though, he looks incredible. This is a 100% brand new sculpt, as are most new media figures, and you can see not only did we get 5 painted blasters with Brutus, he is covered pretty much head to toe in paint. A lot of it is photoreal applied, so it has those inkjet dot matrix dots all over it, but at a distance, like from right here, it really doesn't look too bad. And at least it's nice to see some kind of weathering on a figure these days in the Black Series. It seems like now, more than ever, figures are really lacking some paint app details. So it's cool to see something at the very least. So let's get Brutus off the stand and take a closer look. And what's that I spy? Is that an expressive Black Series face right here? Some sort of grimace, if you will, perhaps. That just looks awesome. I love the expression they chose for Brutus. Not knowing anything about the character, I mean, obviously it just makes him look pretty sinister, threatening, or I don't know, maybe he's a good guy. Who knows? I really have no knowledge about the actual Skeleton Crew show. So yeah, the head sculpt is amazing. The sculpted fur detail looks great. Same thing with the ears poking out, and the face there has some wonderful details with the red eyes. The teeth are nicely done as well. And same thing with the costume. There's tons of different texturing details, what looks like some feathers on the shoulders, and then we just have some more texturing patterns underneath. A little bit of silver paint right there. Like I said, there's some of that dot matrix weathering, more of those feathers, and there's some great sculpted details on the back of the figure, even though it is completely unpainted and typical Black Series fashion. But we do get more paint on the front of the figure. Again, like down the sleeves, around the cuffs there's some more weathering and other painted details on the arm, like these bands here, which are almost identical on the other arm. A little bit different though. The belt's got some nice silver and gold detailing, and the holster also has a nice silver buckle, which feeds into this bottom coat tail piece here that has some more weathering down it. We get some brown and some more of this light sandy white color here, and it kind of trails along the backside and then goes around here to the other side. And then moving down to the boots, even more paint. We get some paint on the boots. That is rare in the Black Series to see something like that, especially on the boots, but hey, I love that they go all out for certain figures. Sometimes I wish it was for characters I cared more about, but every once in a while a Brutus comes along, and this is a figure that pretty much everyone in the community, regardless of how they feel about the Skeleton Crew, seems to be pretty hyped on, to the point where we've even seen some sales data where on certain websites Brutus has been outselling figures like Sebulba, which is just crazy to me. But I think that speaks to the power of the design of Brutus, which pretty much every Star Wars fan looked at this guy for 2 seconds and went, oh yeah, that's awesome. I need a figure of that. So great choice. So let's check out his articulation. So we do get a double neck peg here, and he can look up pretty far, can look down a decent amount. We also get some nice side to side and 360 movement. The shoulders can move up all the way. The overlay does not get in the way at all, which is nice to see. So you get full range there. And of course that means the arm can rotate all the way around, but it's a little bit of a pain with the overlay. It's hard to see, but Brutus does have butterfly joints. The single elbow gives you just a little bit over 90, and it does swivel. We actually have ball jointed wrists making their return on a figure here. And so Brutus is totally decked out. Double neck peg, butterfly joints, the ball hinge wrists, everything that we've come to love about modern Black Series articulation. If only we could just get the thigh swivel back. He can crunch forward just a little bit, as is to be expected. That is something that the Black Series definitely needs to improve on. And going back is just a little bit as well, but of course we do get that rotation and side to side there. For the leg with the holster side, it can actually kick out pretty far, not too bad there. And the non-holstered side can go up even further, which is always nice to see. No thigh swivel, but we do get the slight hip swivel, which it's not as bad as some other recent figures, but still this is not great, and I think we just need to go back to the thigh cut. Single knees also give you just over 90 and swivel, and the feet can go down pretty far. They can go up just a little bit, and he does have ankle pivot. And so you can get him into some dual wield shooting poses, no problems at all. The overlay does bunch up a little bit, but I think it still looks pretty good. With all that great articulation, you already know he can 1-foot pose. No problem. Super easy. Brutus is a blast. As always, it's great to see all the new modern articulation improvements. It's always frustrating when they go back and forth on new sculpts with certain things. So it's great to see that we got the double neck peg, the butterfly joints, the ball hinge. The stuff we've come to really like about modern Black Series figures are all on Brutus. He's got tons of paint on him as well, so they did an excellent job. They went all out for Brutus, and it is appreciated. So now, let's see how he scales. I don't have any other Skeleton Crew figures, unfortunately. I do not plan on picking any of the other ones up. Maybe if they make the droid, but for now, Brutus is the only one I'm picking up. So I'm going to compare him to some Cantina patrons because that's personally where he's going in my display. So we'll start things out with Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. Then we have Moman Edan and Ben Kenobi. And last, for some funsies, we have the SH Figuarts Farm Boy Luke. And then we have my Black Series custom Cabe. And I'll wrap things up here with two of my other custom figures. It's Hemdizan and Girandan. And so there you have it. There was my review for the brand new Pirate Captain Brutus from Skeleton Crew. This figure is an absolute banger. Tons of paint, brand new sculpt, alien, cool design, fun articulation, 5 painted blasters. There's really not a whole lot to complain about with this figure. And like I said at the beginning and throughout the video, something like this is Star Wars to me. This is just like the perfect kind of character design where I see this and I'm just like, without knowing anything about it, I'm like, yep, need it on my shelf. This is just awesome. So this is Star Wars to me. I love this design. Great new modern design. Hopefully they can keep this up and give us some other new cool modern designs, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for now. So there you go. I would definitely recommend Brutus. He is awesome and is just a ton of fun, and I think you can kind of fit him in a number of different places throughout your shelf. You can throw him in a cantina, throw him in Jabba's palace, put him with the bounty hunters, maybe have him hanging out with Hondo. There's a lot that you can do with Pirate Captain Brutus. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. I'm Nate from Out of the Basement. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.